In this video, we come to the end of the ancient writer's depiction of the ancient speaker's short speech. In less than 15 minutes, the contiguous line of thought has been revealed. The people of the way did not follow Jesus per se. They followed the way of being Jesus taught. The test of this way is not in a man of 2,000 years ago, but in his principles practiced today. The ancient writer places one of the speaker's metaphors at the end of his speech. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and acts upon them may be compared to a wise person who built a house upon the rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and burst against that house. And yet it did not fall, for it had been founded upon the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not act upon them will be like a foolish person who built a house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and burst against that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. The speaker's metaphor is simple. Being in the way brings resilience. Being out of the way renders one fragile. Contentment in life comes from practicing the way, not from believing in Jesus or in any other teacher. One's life may demonstrate both being in and being out of this way. I know mine does. The ancient writer proposed for the speaker a way of being that may be practiced, not a magic way to a supernatural afterlife. In less than 15 minutes, the speaker assured his listeners they could be free of unspeakable religious pretense. This shift to a genuine inward being is the fulfillment of all they heard that the ancients were told. What the speaker seemed to propose is not supernatural, but a naturally super way of being content. His listeners learned they could remove religion's load from their own shoulders. No permission or religious observance required. They could find the kingdom of heaven on their own, within themselves, without the religious doorkeepers. The ancient writer reports at the end of the speech the reaction of the crowd. The result was that when the speaker had finished these words, the multitudes were amazed at his teaching, for he was teaching them as one having authority, but not as their religion. The writer tells us the speaker is perceived as one having authority, though the speaker did not speak as religion speaks with authority. The speaker's listeners are amazed. The speaker spoke without the supernatural, yet his way made sense to them, more than their religion made sense to them. I think the natural way of Jesus is still tucked away amongst the supernatural genre of his day. But you cannot make the imaginary real. For millenniums, Christianity has captured its audience via supernatural claims of reward and punishment after one dies. Guilt-ridden religion produced the book, the blood, and the blessed hope. First-century Christianity should have resurrected his mind, not his body. In the final analysis, Jesus became nothing more than a stranger every Christian claims to know. I know both atheists and theists with this way about them. You can set them down anywhere. They have nothing to prove. They are comfortable in their own skin. They are genuine. They have no need to rail against anyone or anything, regardless of belief or disbelief. Since entering seminary over 20 years ago, I have been recovering from too much religion. The ancient text is interesting and a very valuable source of insight into the ancient speaker's culture. However, the writers incorporated their own interest, inconsistencies, and religious culture into what they were doing. The ancient speaker's contiguous line of thought is buried in religious practice. Religion is invasive of a healthy life. The speaker taught the way to be, recovering from too much religion. He was not trying to start a new one.